In this lecture we will talk about photocell. Photocell. What is a photocell? Photocell is an electronic device which works on the principle of photoelectric effect and converts light energy into electrical energy. That is, photocell converts light energy into electrical energy. And principle is photoelectric effect. And what is photoelectric effect? That is when some light is irradiated on the metal surface, and if this light is greater than some threshold frequency, then electrons will be ejected from the metal surface. And if we connect any circuit so that electrons can pass through the circuit, then a photoelectric current is produced in the circuit. So that is photoelectric effect. Now, photocell is also called photoelectric cell, and these cells are mainly of three types. One is photoemissive cell. These are types: photoemissive cell. Then second is photoconductive cell. And third one is photovoltaic cell. So first we will talk about photoemissive cell. Photoemissive cell. Photoemissive cell works on the principle of photoelectric emission. Here you can see there is a cathode which is photosensitive surface, cathode C. This is anode. This is light. This is glass tube. These are electrons which are emitted. This is battery B. So photoemissive cell is based on the fact that the fact that electrons are emitted from the photosensitive surface from the photosensitive surface when light falls on it. That is, when light is falling on the cathode is a photosensitive surface. So when light falls on the cathode C, then electrons are emitted, and these electrons are photoelectrons, which are emitted because of photoelectric effect, because this light which is falling on this photosensitive surface, if it is having the value greater than the threshold value, that means it is having a frequency which is having a value greater than the threshold value, it means it can counter the work function and eject the electrons. Those electrons can move towards the anode, and when these electrons are emitted, there is a battery provided. This battery provided a positive potential difference to the anode with respect to the cathode. This is anode. So when anode is at positive potential with respect to the cathode, then these electrons which are emitted, they will get accelerated towards the anode, means anode is having a positive charge, so it will attract the electrons which are having a negative charge. So these electrons which are emitted, I am showing electrons by E, these electrons will get attracted towards the anode, and when they reaches anode, they pass through the external circuit, in which we can see there is a galvanometer and resistance are connected. So we can see when these electrons are collected by the anode, a current is constituted in the external circuit, and in this way, the light energy is converted to the electrical energy, and this type of cell is called photoemissive cell. And we can also see in construction there is a cathode, there is an anode, there is light source, and all these electrodes are enclosed in an glass envelope so that light can pass through the glass and provide sensitivity or provide effect of photoelectric emission, so that electrons can be ejected and they can be collected by the anode and constitute a current in the external circuit. So this is photoemissive cell. Now we will talk about photoconductive cell. Photoconductive cell. So what is photoconductive cell? Like, it is based on the fact that when intensity of light falling on some semiconductor like selenium or lead sulfate, then lead sulfide, then the conductivity of these surfaces, or we can say the resistance decreases and conductivity increases of these materials, these semiconductors. So we can see the construction of the photoconductive cell. where here we can see this is a semiconductor surface, which is below the transparent film, transparent film of metal, and this is iron plate. Iron plate means in this construction we can see there is a transparent film of metal below which there is semiconductor, and this combination of transparent film and semiconductor is placed over a iron plate. Now this transparent film acts as cathode and this iron plate acts as anode. So we can see the connection. This is battery B. This is some resistance. Okay. So in this cell we can say when light falls, this is light. When light falls on the transparent film, it decreases the resistance of semiconductor, and electrons flow through the circuit and constitute a current. But this cell, like this photoconductive cell, is having some drawback, because if we change the intensity, then it takes some time to change the current. Means it is having a time lag between the current and intensity. So because of this time lag, these type of cells are not commonly used in general practice. So what we learn about photoconductive cell, it is based on the fact that on increasing the intensity of light, the resistance of semiconductor decreases, that is the conductivity of the semiconductor increases. And the drawback or limitation, we can say, drawback is time lag of current with intensity. So This is photoconductive cell. Now we will talk about photovoltaic cell. What is photovoltaic cell? Photovoltaic cell is made by combination of two specially prepared materials, and when light falls on these materials, then flow of electrons take place, or we can say electric current is constituted. And the main difference of this photovoltaic cell with the other two type of photocells, that is photoconductive cell and photoemissive cell, is that it is not having any external battery in the circuit. So we can see the construction. Here we can see that there is a silver coating. First complete the connection diagram, then we will talk about it in detail. Okay. So here we can see the construction. There is a copper plate. On this copper plate, there is a layer of cuprous oxide is plated. Now over cuprous oxide there is a layer of silver or gold is coated. When light falls on, because silver layer is very thin, which acts as a transparent film, when light falls on this cuprous oxide, which is active medium, then flow of electrons take place between the boundary of this silver and cuprous oxide, and if this circuit, if this is connected to some external circuit, then current will be constituted in this circuit, and this type of cell is called photovoltaic cell. So what we find that it is based on the fact that electrons are ejected when combination of two especially prepared layers is is irradiated or is exposed to light. And why this and the speciality is that, or the difference is that it is not having any external battery to accelerate electrons, and this is because it generates its own EMF, that is electromotive force. So we can have a relook that when we are having some copper plate, on this copper plate a film of cuprous oxide is coated, and on that film a silver layer is coated. When light falls on this combination, or when light falls on this cuprous oxide, which is the active medium, then electrons are ejected from the boundary of silver and cuprous oxide, and these electrons are, when these electrons are made to pass through the external circuit, a constituent or a current is developed, a current is constituted, and in this way this photovoltaic cell works. Here there is no external battery is applied to accelerate the electrons, but these electrons are accelerated because of the EMF of the combination, which is self-generated EMF, that is electromotive force. So in this way we can learn about the three types of photocells. One is photoemissive cell, the second one is photoconductive cell, and the third one is photovoltaic cell. That's all for today. Thank you.